Loretta Switt, breaking out of khaki with a new TV movie, Games Mother Never Taught You. French singing sensation Sylvie Vartan. Former psychic to ABC television, Beverly Dean. Astrologer Joyce Jilson. These are Mike's guests along with the entertainment news from Sandy Kenyon. And it's all coming up. From Hollywood, it's Mike Douglas. People Now. Now, here's Mike.
Thank you, Dennis. You know, rarely in television or any place else for that matter does an endeavor, any endeavor, achieve perfection. Well, MASH has.
Oh,
and my first guest is, of course, an intricate part of that series. She's won 2 Emmys as Major Margaret Houlihan, and she has now turned her efforts to a new comedy drama that is very close to her heart called Games Mothers Never Taught You. Here is Loretta Switt.
Thank you, Mike. What a nice thing to say.
Thank you. But it's true.
Thank you very much.
I've got to say that I saw you, and you've been on so many shows, but I didn't know that side of you, that performing side of you. I saw you on a show singing and dancing. And
yeah, I love to do that.
The world
They've let me do that in MASH a few times, only in character, so she's not supposed to be. Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I love to sing.
Have you ever entertained?
I did the Muppet Show, and you know all the variety shows I've managed to do on hiatus from MASH.
How about maybe
years.
a Vegas thing sometime? Have you ever entertained
the
thought of doing that?
Yes, I have, seriously, and I would dearly love to do that. I just have never had a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, it does take
you know,
a lot
it really
of preparation.
Yes, and a lot of an investment in giving up films that I would like to do and things like that. I've gone to see Lena Horne twice. I just she's such an inspiration. And yes, I after I leave, I think, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to get up and do that?
You could.
Well, no, there's only one Lena. Oh, God.
But you could
just worship that lady.
She's something.
She was on the cover too one month.
I once hosted a show and she was my guest, and I sang a 14-minute medley with that lady of her hits. And I don't ever talk about things like this, but it was a first, I believe. When we finished the 14-minute medley, we were in that NBC studio in Brooklyn. The audience stood. It was a standing ovation, only because of what this lady said.
Had to be. Yeah, she's.
And I said to Dwight Hemming, and I said, never seen it happen on television before. He said, it'll happen again because we're going to do the whole thing over again.
And did you have to?
And we did it over again, and he stood up again. Games Mother
Never
Taught You. Very provocative title.
It's based on a textbook of the same name by Betty LaHanne Harrigan. And I brought this along to show that Ms.
And
is also
coincidentally, look who's on the cover of Ms.
It's a story about power, which is why Gloria and her editors chose to do that kind of cover.
That's a nice cover.
And there's a wonderful article inside that covers the drives, the hang-ups, the joys, the price. And I'd like to think my movie covers all of those points as well. It's not necessarily a feminist movie. It's a humanist movie. It's just a story about love and men and women. And it's just
you're in the business world, out in the business world.
I get promoted in the movie from executive secretary to a project director in a marketing research corporation, but I am the first woman executive in that particular company to come in. And I discover through the course of the movie that there are games, B, some people play them very hard, and 3, I have to learn how to play them to survive, and then develop my own games, and then eventually try to win, playing with my own integrity.
Egos being ruffled in it.
Yes, and at the same time, yes, it's sort of a double whammy to be a woman, but they would give flack to any newcomer because the corporate games continue whether you're a woman or a man.
Oh, yes.
This is just sort of even more difficult because she has to learn that just by virtue of being a woman and entering a conference room and smelling differently and looking differently and wearing different clothes, and she's just a disturbance. The voices are lowered automatically, perhaps, or perhaps they change the conversation, or they tone down some of the four-letter languages or whatever, but they make an adjustment because she is a woman, and that barrier has to be broken because it's covered
too.
this in this. It's very delicate. When I was doing research for the movie, a friend of mine called my attention to an article in the LA Times, and it was about power. It was about executive material, and the president of very famous, let's say, corporation and chairman of the board was quoted as saying, when he was speaking of executives and executive material, "We want men who can execute orders. If they cannot, we will execute them."
He actually said this?
He actually said that. He later on denied saying it, but there were too many people there, and it was already in print. But it can be a very deadly game. There are some characters in the movie who are playing for keeps, and essentially what we learn is that little girls growing up are not prepared to enter the corporate game structure. They're playing with dolls, or they're in the kitchen helping mom, learning how to cook. It's hopefully we're making great progress. Yes, we can just see that reflected in movies.
You brought us a little, we'll call it a teaser, huh?
Yes.
We're going to nail a few of them out there.
I hope so.
And they'll be
yes.
sitting at their sets when this airs when?
Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on CBS.
I knew that because instinctively I knew it would be CBS. Okay. Games Mother Never Taught You, starring Loretta Switt. Roll it, Terry, please.
I want things to be the way they were.
You want to go back to L.A.?
I want to go back to Columbus.
Did I ever tell you you were the most beautiful girl at Ohio State?
No. You used to say I was the most practical.
That too. You said you fell in love with me at first sight to save time.
I did. You were so handsome. You still are. Sometimes, just seeing you at the end of the day makes it all worthwhile.
Truth?
That wonderful actor is Sam Waterston, and he is
hard to tell from here.
Just such a delight to work with. We were so lucky to get him for the movie. He literally closed in a Broadway show Saturday night, packed on Sunday, got on a plane Monday, and Monday afternoon he was starting to read the play with me, the script.
There's so much more I want to talk to you about. We will in a moment. We'll be right back with Loretta Switt following this.